If you're watching my channel, then I am sure you have seen videos exactly like that.
I'd rather take my hard-earned cash and say, could you be sitting in real estate earning 25 or 35% for me?
Where they basically are telling you that you can achieve 20%, 25%, 30%, 50% returns on the money that you put down simply by investing in real estate.
Real estate over 20 years compounding at 25% ended up producing 27 times more money.
As opposed to investing in mutual funds, ETFs, your RSPs, your tax-free saving accounts, your 401ks, whatever the case may be. And while there is nothing wrong with investing in real estate, while there is certainly some investment opportunity in real estate, we need to look at these type of things with a more critical and analytical eye to make sure that the numbers actually make sense for you.
I just know how to read numbers.
So in this video, I'm going to be getting into a bunch of different things when it comes to real estate investing. Number one, what are the pros of it? What are the cons of it? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? This is something we need to know about every single investment out there. Number two, I'm going to tell you a little bit about real estate math as opposed to actual math, because when you sit down and look at some of the numbers that the guys like this tend to talk about, the numbers don't tend to make as much sense as you'd think.
It makes no sense.
And of course, the last thing I'm going to talk about, if real estate investing is indeed the right thing for you, how do you go about doing it? Before I get into it, please make sure you hit the like button and hit the subscribe button so that you can come back for more videos. So what are the advantages of investing in real estate? Well, I would say the absolute and the biggest advantage that you have when it comes to investing in real estate is leverage. Leverage is your best friend when it comes to investing in real estate, in the sense that you can borrow usually up to about 4 times what you put in. And so by having extra dollars to go towards things like rental properties, fixing up, flipping, and whatever the case may be, it allows you to amplify your returns. Even if the overall percentage of return is a little bit lower, the higher, or the same, because of that borrowing, it does get amplified over the long run. If you are using the leverage to grow your real estate portfolio, there is another risk called interest rate risk.
It's risk, Jerry.
And this is something that a lot of people experienced over the last 12 to 18 months. As the Federal Reserve and Bank of Canada began increasing interest rates, a lot of landlords started to see that their payments went higher and higher. And of course, you cannot increase your rental rates as quickly as the interest rates increased. So a lot of landlords and people who invested in real estate felt a pinch there too. Another huge advantage of real estate investing is the fact that it is one of these recession-proof types of things.
Things aren't as happy as they used to be down here at the unemployment office.
Now, obviously, depending on the type of real estate, that changes a little bit, but people are always going to need a place to live. And if you are someone who is in the business of investing in real estate, you're likely always going to have some form of income coming in if you are invested in real estate. And then, of course, there is the advantage of control.
Control. You must learn control.
Obviously, when it comes to different types of investments in mutual funds or ETFs, you have absolutely no control over how the companies perform. You just kind of have to sit back and let what happens. Now, statistically, we're talking 8-10% a year on average over the last 100 years in terms of performance of the market, and there isn't a whole lot you can do to increase or decrease that. If you're a trader and different things like that, there might be some things that you can do there, but we're talking about the average person. Whereas within real estate, if you have that sort of full-on control, you can control how you price your real estate, how you price your rentals. You can control whether to fix it up, flip it, give people a break, different things like that. There is a lot that you can do to sort of influence the outcome when it comes to real estate investing. So that is another huge advantage. So what are some of the big disadvantages of investing in real estate? Well, one of the first, and I would say this is probably the biggest one, is that investing in real estate, especially physical property, eliminates your ability to use tax-sheltered accounts. So if you look at different types of investments in mutual funds and things like that, it allows you to invest in things like your tax-free saving account, your RSP, all of which are tax sheltered. They will not be taxed until a much later date. Whereas with real estate, especially if you're doing some type of income producing property, every single payment that you receive from rental income is going to be taxed immediately. So this kind of gets in the way of compounding growth. Another disadvantage of real estate, of course, is the liquidity issue. A lot of the time people's assets are completely tied up in some form of real estate, and so if you need to get access to money quickly, it's difficult to do that through real estate. Whereas if you are once again invested in a mutual fund or ETF or something like that, it's a matter of days before you can get your money out and use it for something else. Another issue of investing in real estate, and this is just a personal issue for me, is that oftentimes if you want to make any kind of real money doing it, you have to be very hands-on.
But when idiots on the internet say real estate is passive income, that means they've never owned any.
Right? Meaning you have to vet tenants, you have to kick people out, you have to do a lot of maintenance, repairs, and upkeep, and if you don't do that hands-on type stuff, it ends up cutting into your profit margin. Whereas if you're investing in mutual funds, ETFs, these type of things, very hands-off, and you're still getting a decent return. And if we look at the averages, if you look at the average return of the markets over the last 40, 50 years, we're talking about 10% a year. And if you look at the average returns of the real estate market overall over the last 40, 50 years, the returns seem to be about the same. If there is one thing I want you to take away from this video, this is it. That there are two types of math in this world. The first type of math in this world is math that you and I, everybody knows it's all the same. But then there's the second type of math, and that is called the real estate bro math. And this is to make you think that money falls out of the sky and 50% returns are the normal thing, and that you can just make money and create money and nothing bad will ever happen. The first type, the normal math, it goes something like this. You have a $400,000 property. You rent that out to a family. They are paying you $2,000 a month in rent. About $8,000 of that, let's just say, goes towards expenses. That leaves you with $16,000 of revenue. $16,000 on for a $400,000 property, that is a 4% return. And let's just say something else happens within that piece of real estate, that value of that land goes up from 400 to, let's just say, 410,000. That's another 2.5%. So that gives you a return of 6.5%. This is what normal everyday people in the financial world and the rest of the world think. 400,000, it creates about $16,000 of net revenue plus another $10,000 of appreciation. So that's 26,000. That gives us a 6.5% return. That's what we all think, right? Here is how real estate bros do math.
What is the simple math behind investing in real estate? Check it out.
They take the 20% money that they've put down. So on a $400,000 property, that's $80,000. That's $80,000, right? And then they take all these same numbers that they end up with a net of $26,000 of, positive appreciation and cash flow. And so what they say is 26,000 equals a 32.5% return. So that $26,000 of revenue, they count that as a 36% return, right? And so they make you think they're getting these 36% returns, 25% returns, 50% returns. But when you look at the total value of the investment, right, which is the property, which is the mutual funds, which is whatever the case may be, return is calculated on the total in the real world, not on the amount that you put in, which is what all these real estate bros do. Right? So that's how they get saying that, oh, they've got 36% returns, 25% returns, etc., etc. So just, if you take this one thing, know this. There's real math and there's real estate bro math, and real estate bro math is meant for you to think that money falls out of the sky, there's never any risk, and you're only going to make, a bazillion dollars by doing nothing. So watch out for real estate. So let's say that you are looking to invest in real estate. Let's say you are looking to have that as part of your overall portfolio. How do you go about doing it? Well, there's a few things that you can obviously do if you do want to take advantage of things like your RSPs, your tax-free saving account, and still have some investments in real estate. Of course, you can use things like real estate type ETFs and real estate mutual funds, and that'll allow you to take advantage of that space. Another thing you can do is talk to, different types of realtors. Now, this isn't my area of expertise. It's not something I can recommend or I'm even licensed to talk about. But if it's something you really want to do and you do your own research and all this type of thing and you think it's right for you, go ahead and talk to them, and I'm sure that they can kind of guide you in the right direction. So let's look at this from an Islamic perspective. Is it halal to even invest in real estate?
MashaAllah, brother, that's a very good question.
And the answer is, of course, real estate is a fine asset to own. It is perfectly halal to deal in real estate, whether you're buying it, selling it, whether you're renting it out, all of these are halal. However, when it comes to buying any form of real estate, it must be done in a halal way. That means you can't take out interest-based loans in order to make your investments in real estate. So how are you going to do it otherwise? Well, one of the simplest ways, of course, and the easiest halal way to do it is to invest in real estate funds. There are certain types of real estate-based ETFs and real estate-based mutual funds that have real estate that aligns with the Islamic values, that doesn't have too much debt, doesn't use interest, different things like that. So that would be one of the easiest ways. If you want to get something that has a little bit more of a return and is a little bit more on the hands-on side of things, what I would suggest is finding like-minded members within your community and perhaps pooling your assets together. Now, this obviously comes with a little bit of extra risk, and you need to make sure all the details are laid out at the very beginning and the agreements are in place. But at the end of the day, if you guys pool your assets and buy real estate together, it'll make that upfront cost a lot lower. So those are just a couple ways that you can invest in real estate in a halal way. So overall, I don't see a problem with investing in real estate. I think it can be a great addition and a great piece to the overall portfolio, but I also want you to be cautious when it comes to looking at these different types of people, the Grant Cardones, the Chris Crones, all these people who are saying that you can make extreme amounts of returns and you're going to be super rich just by investing in real estate. It is never that simple, and anybody who tells you otherwise is full of crap and they're trying to sell you something. So I don't think there's anything wrong with investing in real estate. I don't think there is anything particularly bad about listening to some of the things these people have to say, but you have to take everything they say and everything even I say with a grain of salt and figure out if it is the right thing for you. So I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, you want to discuss things in a little bit more of a private setting, make sure you click the link below. You want a little bit of extra help, click the link below. Give us a visit at CanadianIslamicWealth.com. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.